Cinema Recall is available everywhere you find great podcasts.
The hell was that?
It's our voice promo guy.
Follow them on Facebook and Instagram under Cinema Recall Podcast and on Twitter at Cinema_Recall.
Vern, can we afford to have a voiceover guy?
We can't afford not to. He used to be a voice guy for movie trailers, but now he just follows me around and gives me movie trailer narration.
That's really sad.
What? Now we're giving him purpose in life. He now has a reason to go on.
Check out past episodes at cinemarecall.net. Promise it's fun!
I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Robert Stewart.
And this is Collateral Cinema and
the SWO World Order Podcast.
On our season premiere. Welcome to the Season 8 premiere of Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are, as always, a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, blunts, bongs, or joints, smoke it if you've got it. And not only is this the season premiere, but as usual, it's spooky season. Yeah, that's right. The Halloween season is here finally, and that's when we usually kick off our seasons. So, yeah, it feels great to be back, everybody.
Hell yeah. Glad to
Hell
be
yeah.
back.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Awesome. I just had a birthday, so I'm feeling pretty good, too.
Woo, happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. And we just heard right there is for the second year in a row on our season premiere, we have Stu from the SWO World Order podcast. Once again, how are you doing, Stu?
I am doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me back on. Big fan of you guys. Love your show. Love being on. So thank you so much for having me back on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, likewise with your show as well. Yeah, and of course we had to do it big this year. You know, when it came to our first spooky season episode and our season premieres. So we had to go with what has become quite possibly one of the more hyped movies of the last horror generation. And that, of course, is Damien Leone's Terrifier. This came out in 2016, I believe. And from what I understand, this is not Art's first actual movie.
Appearance.
Yeah, it's not his first appearance, right?
Yeah.
It is not. I've never seen the Terrifier movies, but I have seen All Hallows Eve, which is the first movie in which Art appeared. So I have seen that before.
Now, you know what's funny is we didn't even get around to watching that, did we?
No, we didn't.
we probably should have.
We're usually good with shorts. We love them, too.
Yeah, exactly. Shorts are like our lifeblood here and everything. But,
Oh, man. I was hoping at least one of us had watched it.
yeah. Well, we may have dropped the ball on that.
I think we did. Right?
I have seen one of the scenes from it, and in that, Art actually goes a little bit further than he does in this movie.
Yeah. Well, as usual, we usually start off with our first initial thoughts on the movie at hand. And since Stu is our guest, we'll go ahead and start with him. What are your first initial thoughts on this movie, Stu?
My initial thoughts are it's very reminiscent of the slasher era. It borrows a lot from the stuff that made slasher movies so popular in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. There are bare breasts in it, which was a staple of slasher movies from that era. There is a lot of bad acting, which is a staple from a lot of the movies in that era. And you of course have the invincible killer who goes around slaughtering everybody, but it brings in a lot of its own twists too, which is really nice. So I enjoyed it, was my initial thoughts. I thought it was pretty entertaining for a movie I had put off watching for a while because I'd had people told me it's kind of like gross out horror. Like I was expecting something more along the lines of like the Hostel movie, something more torture porn-esque that I'm not personally a big fan of, but this is more just like typical slasher gore, which I'm fine with.
I feel like
definitely.
It's kind of on the line there between typical slasher and torture porn, but you're right. It's not as bad as some of the shit that's out there.
Yeah. Ash, what are your initial thoughts?
Oh, man. I had a great time with this. I mean, obviously, people have been talking about Art the Clown as possibly the next horror icon. So I've been kind of wanting to check what all the fuss was about for some time. And I've yet to watch the other movie, Terrifier 2, yet. And I know Terrifier 3 is coming out very soon. But for what it's worth, I mean, this is... I think runs at just about 80 minutes. It's just 80 minutes of Art the Clown just fucking around and finding out, like,
pretty much, yeah.
People fucking around and finding out, I guess, in regards to Art the Clown. But it is just like it's going from scene to scene of him just butchering these people, and I'm sure we'll get into, the kills later.
Oh, certainly, yes, definitely. And Robert, what are your initial thoughts here?
When I first put it on, I didn't know what we were getting. Actually, I thought we were just gonna get another, freaking slasher movie, but. The more I watched it, the more I did get into it to where it felt like, you were watching a little bit of every horror genre, kind of like Saw and Hostel and what else? I don't know. I think it's a newer take it's a better take off of the It Clown, really.
Yeah.
But, And, I don't know. I couldn't believe what I was seeing with some of these scenes, really. Like, I thought some of it was better than Hostel, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. As far as, like, just the campiness and the gore and everything, it does kind of have that same feel as Hostel.
Hostel is pretty fucked up. They don't stop with that. But, I don't know, man. Freaking using a little bit of every tool as your weapon, that's pretty genius, too. And then... the ending, I wasn't really... too proud of, really. Yeah,
the ending is a little too reminiscent of other slashers, more or less.
See, when he got up from that body bag, I thought that was like Halloween Resurrection all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, no.
Or which Friday the 13th was it where he was in the morgue? He starts off in the morgue. That's the
final chapter.
Final chapter. Yeah. And so that's a pretty common slasher trope.
I thought what was interesting, though, is that, the way they played it for most of the movie is you're really not sure whether he's just a dude or if there's any sort of supernatural element to him. He doesn't do anything explicitly supernatural right up until the end, and then that's where that's confirmed.
Yeah, but from what I understand, I think that the supernatural elements of his character were established in some of these earlier movies that he appeared in.
Right.
First was in 2008, he was in a movie called The Ninth Circle. I guess that was the first real short that had Art the Clown as a full-fledged character, and then Leone went ahead and did the first proper short version of Terrifier, and that was where he started to kind of refine the character a little better, and then eventually he did All Hallows Eve, which was an anthology movie from what I understand and everything.
Yes, it was.
Once again, we didn't watch it. God damn it. But yeah, this movie was Leone's official directorial debut, and also the official debut of Art the Clown as a full-fledged character, and that's really part of the reason why Leone made this movie, was really to kind of finally fully flesh out Art the Clown as an entity, you know,
There you go.
and also kind of as an icon.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's pretty badass. I mean, I'll take it over all these remakes any day, you know?
I know, right?
In a lot of ways, this movie is a proof of concept.
There you go.
It's essentially showing you what Art the Clown is capable of and what we can do with this character. One of the common criticisms of the movie is that there isn't really much plot. You know, you kind of just have the characters thrown into the situation, and Art fucks him up. I mean, that's basically it. That's what happens. I mean, there's kind of a cool little plot twist with the, you know, who the actual final girl is. You think it's Tara in the beginning, and then it ends up being her sister, and then there's a whole reveal at the end about her sister being the girl from the beginning. So there are some pretty cool plot reveals, but it's very bare bones. You know, you don't get a lot of time to develop these characters. Again, it's only 80 minutes, but I feel like it achieves exactly what it sets out to do, and that is, you know, showcasing this character and what he's all about.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for, again, going back to the 70s, 80s, 90s slashers with your Jason movies and your Michael Myers and your Freddys. They didn't have a lot of plot. They didn't have a lot of big major story going on. It was pretty much like, here's a group of people, our antagonist is going to kill them, and you're going to watch and enjoy it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what this movie's drawing from, and there's no problem with that. I love those movies.
That's especially true with Friday the 13th. I mean, that is literally like, here's a new group of people for Jason to kill every movie. So it is cool how it does continue like some of the old traditions and tropes of the slasher genre and everything. But
Art himself kind of embodies characteristics of different types of killers, because you usually have the silent killer type, who's kind of just this hulking figure that never says anything, and then the ones that are very charismatic, and Art manages to kind of toe the line by just being expressive, but never speaking a word.
Well, that really kind of goes down to David Howard Thornton, who is not the original actor who portrayed Art in the other movies. That was Mike Giannelli, but he retired from acting, I think, because he was just done with taking major film roles at the time. I guess he had just it just finally run its course with him and everything. But yeah, I mean, David Howard Thornton, he actually solidified his role in this movie during the audition, when during a kill scene, he pretty much acted out a kill scene like completely in mime, like with no other actors. And that's because David Howard Thornton actually has experience in mimery.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. So he actually knows the basics of how to be an effective mime, and that's what I think. That's another thing that makes Art interesting as a character, is that technically he's different from a killer clown. He's a killer mime, and we just haven't really seen that yet.
Yeah, he's a great fucking character. I mean, if this is meant to be our introduction to, you know, what he's about, it does an excellent job of doing that. And again, David Howard Thornton's expressions really just sells the whole thing. And also the fact that he's just unpredictable. You literally never know what he's going to do next, you know?
Yeah. I liked I like his bag of tricks that he has. And he's just like pulling whatever he can find out of there, right?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. You know, it kind of has that little, a little bit of a callback to actual hostile, and also actual clowning.
Clowning,
bit, you know,
right.
Yeah,
circus clown, right?
Yeah, you know, he'd like for instance, taking out the flags continuously, balloons and stuff like that.
Pins,
yeah, exactly. Just pulling out a bunch of random shit out of hammer space and whatnot. Yeah. But I mean, Yeah, I mean David Howard Thornton, he's great in this movie, and I mean if you actually ever get to see him in character, which he has apparently done convention appearances in character as Art, and I mean it does take him like 3 hours to get into that makeup. I mean that his actual makeup design, which was done by Leone, who himself was a special effects and makeup guy initially.
Yeah, and that shows.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it takes him about 3 hours to get into that makeup, but even so, it's really impressive about how the actual design of Art's face. Like, I mean, it looks evil, but I mean, it's also kind of inviting in a weird way. Like whenever he's full on in character and he's like just kind of doing all his little gestures and everything,
smiling,
and everything. It's like you kind of can't help but like the guy a little bit, even though more than likely he's going to hack you to fucking pieces.
When he's got that scalpel.
I was actually
going to
say, as long as he's not smiling, because then he's got the terrible teeth.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
He's a lot more inviting when he's not smiling.
Yeah. He's got just that rotten, disgusting, just rotted out teeth. Gross. But also, he seems to have a thing with ruining bathrooms as well. I think that's something that actually goes back to some of the short films, is that he likes to be a little scatological.
Yeah, that part was weird to me. And then that's kind of like the first thing that he does in the movie before he even starts killing anyone. You know, you find out that he smeared his shit all over the walls, and I was like, okay. That's gross.
It's like a total
that's
dick move.
That's less serial killer and more just shithead customer.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. Yes, definitely.
But like I said, with Art, like you just never really know what he's going to do next. I mean, I noticed at one point when he perceives Tara as an actual threat, he stops toying with her. He just fucking pulls out a gun and shoots her. And you notice there's no joy in his expression while he does that. He's had his fun with her. She's just a threat to him, and he gets rid of her.
Mm-hmm, yeah. She pretty much outlived her usefulness to him, which is pretty much just to amuse himself, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that was the biggest twist for me in this whole movie is, again, you're talking about all these slashers and where this movie has drawn its inspiration from and where it's drawn all these horror inspiration movies from. And like, you never see the antagonist pull out a gun. Like, they just don't do that. They get you with knives, or they get you with harpoons, or they get you with machetes, but they never pull out a gun. Like, that's the unwritten rule of these movies. And so you don't see it coming whatsoever whenever he just pulls out a pistol and shoots her ass. Like, it's so out of the blue, and it takes you by complete surprise.
And killing who we thought was the protagonist at that point.
Exactly. And typically, I mean, especially in most academic circles, it's pointed out that slasher killers usually use phallic penetrative weapons. But this is like the first time we see them use a phallic, projectile weapon.
You know what's funny too? A gun is a last resort.
Absolutely.
And he pulled it out like a last resort too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That, right?
He still uses it as a last resort.
He could have killed them any time though, right?
No, yeah, he could have just blasted them in the head, but no, he does fucked up shit like hacking a woman into with a hacksaw upside down, bisecting her. It's like
vagina.
Yeah, no. We may as well go ahead and get into the kills of this movie, because, I mean, that is pretty much like the bread and butter of these movies, is that, this is like kind of a throwback not only to slasher movies, but also to some of the more gratuitous torture porn of the 2000s, Yeah. In many ways, this does kind of feel like a movie from the 2000s a little bit.
It does.
To me.
It's got that, I said, Hostel 1 and 2 feeling, right?
Like even in the way that it's shot and actually lit. It's like even the lighting, it kind of has that washed out, that colorful yet washed out feel that a lot of 2000s horror movies had.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, now especially the cheap. Here's what it kind of looks like to me. It kind of looks like a slightly more expensive Full Moon Features production.
There you go.
That's what it kind of feels like to me. Yeah, in fact, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't pick this up instead of Dread Central, you know?
Full Moon Features, yeah.
Because, I mean, this feels like it would be just a slightly higher budget Charles Band movie, kind of. You know? Just without the little doll creatures.
Oh, yeah.
You know? That he's wont to do. But... Yeah, that hacksaw scene. Now, like we've seen something similar to that in Bone Tomahawk. You know, there was a kind of a similar kill in that movie.
Okay, yeah.
It's as Craig Zoller's film. It's like, and that's the first time that we see that concept of being bisected with a saw from the crotch down, you know. But this right here, I would say, is much more definitive and much more in your face about it, and it kind of really blends into the campiness of the movie, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, and you watch the entire thing happen. I mean, you see the saw go down. And everything. I mean, the effects are visceral. I mean, they're very in your face about it. You almost want to look away because it's just like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and also, I mean, there's just the whole, you know, having a naked girl hung upside down. You know, I mean, that's like Stu said earlier about, you know, it's kind of a classic standard for slasher movies to have boobs, you know? And this was an interesting way to have that, sort of, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not a sexy scene at all.
It's not sexy at all.
There are boobs, but terrible things are about to happen. So it is not a titillating scene whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Nope.
So that's the kill of the movie. That's the one that everyone talks about, right? And I had heard about.
It's arguably the centerpiece of the movie.
Yeah, and Tara's forced to watch this happen too. I mean, that's part of the torture of it. He's not only doing, you know, to her friend, but he's doing it to her by forcing her to watch.
Mm-hmm. And he's still just smiling at her and just having a blast while doing it.
Almost like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. I know, right?
Where he's got his eyes open, forced to watch, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of got that feel to it. But I mean, and before that, we had the kill in the pizza shop. You know, first we have that jack-o'-lantern with the decapitated head.
Oh, bro, you know what that reminded me of?
What was that?
The 2018 Halloween.
Yeah,
when he did that to the cop.
Yeah, you're right. He did do that to the cop. He made it to a jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern, bro.
Yeah. Although I would say that the fire effects on this one was not really that good. I can't tell if the fire was real or added in post.
Yeah. I think Michael put a candle in his mouth, right?
Yeah, something. Straight up.
I knew I'd seen that before. The human jack-o'-lantern. I was like, I've seen that in a movie before, but I couldn't remember. You're right. It was Halloween.
Yeah, I couldn't have placed it either.
I want to say maybe it was even in Trick or Treat.
Oh, you're right. It was in Trick or Treat.
Yeah, I want to say it was in Trick or Treat as well, right?
I was thinking Trick or Treat, actually. Wasn't there something in Trick or Treat that was like that? I thought that.
He carved their faces with the lollipop, though, right?
Something like that. I don't quite remember. It's like, damn it, we just did that last season.
Yeah.
How are we forgetting this shit? God damn it.
I don't remember that happening in Trick or Treat, but it could have. I don't remember it, and I've seen Trick or Treat a couple times, but it's one of those things where like I'll have seen it and just have completely forgotten it. So it's entirely possible.
Was it when that pumpkin guy takes his mask off, then his face looks like it's carved?
Something like that. Yeah, he looks like he has a pumpkin.
His face is like
something
a pumpkin.
Like
His face is like a pumpkin.
Yeah, but then just the way that we see that first kill of the pizza employee. That what insult to injury. He had to clean up Art's shit, and then he gets stabbed and killed by him. Like, goddamn. And this is after bitching at his boss, being like, "Hey, this ain't sanitary. You got the cook cleaning this shit up." Which, if you've worked in restaurants, that happens a lot.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah. I've had to clean up some shit bathrooms in the both retail and restaurants.
It's not fun.
No. Yeah, but But yeah, he chops that dude's hand off, and then he just goes to town on him, and it really just kind of shows that, I mean, there's still a good little level of like straight just vile hatred to the way that that Art kills his victims and everything. You know,
that was Halloween too, right? Those girls were coming back from a party.
Yeah, it was Halloween. They were coming back. They were drunk.
So Art can just blend in with nobody question on Halloween, right?
Oh no, he can absolutely blend in.
Just blend in. Everybody's just gonna think he's just a guy in a costume.
In Terrifier 3, he's going to be showing up at Christmas, so...
Yeah, that's right.
Wearing a Santa suit.
A Christmas slasher, hell yeah.
He's going to steal Christmas.
Now I need to know if Terrifier 2 is about Thanksgiving.
We need more Thanksgiving horror movies.
Oh, that Thanksgiving movie that came out recently.
Yeah, I mean, there was Eli Roth's Thanksgiving that came out last year.
Is Art going to steal Christmas like the Grinch?
I think he is. What if he ends up killing the Grinch?
It'd be funny.
Or what if it's like ends up being like a collab with what's that one Grinch horror movie? It's called the Mean One or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've heard of that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be crazy? Santa Art versus the Mean One.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God, man!
Literally stealing a holiday because it's supposed to be. Yeah, he's like Jack Skellington stealing a holiday. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And how about that kill of the second, like the second exterminator? Like he gets straight up stabbed through the top of the head, and then Art uses that to hold his head up, and he just slowly slices his head off. Like that was actually pretty well done.
Dude, that was a full blown decapitation we saw.
It was, man, and a very well done decapitation, I might add. Like, I mean, in so many ways, the other half of this movie is that it's a special effects reel. And yeah, Damien Leone, I mean, he does know his way around gore effects here. And and I feel like that's why he really had to kind of lay it on heavy for this movie, finally.
Hell yeah.
And then poor Mike gets his head smashed in.
Yeah, just straight up gets his head smashed in after he was the one character to actually put up something of a fight against Art. Honestly, like he was really the first one. Yeah, it's like that was played by Matt McAllister, I believe. And I also do like, I mean, they say that he's creepy and everything, but actually, no, he's just a pretty straight up working stiff. That's all he really is, Even just kind of talking about what he's there for is just like, oh no, it's not the cockroaches to worry about. You got to worry about the rats. Telling her while taking her to a bathroom.
Oh my God. Should just piss behind the car.
Oh, my wife was so mad at that scene. When that girl just goes up to that strange apartment building and the guy lets her in to go use the decrepit bathroom, my wife was like, no woman on the planet is doing this. It doesn't matter if they're drunk. It doesn't matter if it's Halloween. She says, no woman on earth is doing this.
I believe that 100%.
That's how you know the movie was written by a man.
Exactly, dude. It's like, most women would do what us guys would do. Go find a place to cop a squat or, take a piss,
Country girls do it all the time.
Exactly.
That's preferable to going into the creepy building.
Way preferable.
Yeah, fuck all that.
Yeah. Just go off in the in the alleyway or something. It's like, I mean, that's what us dudes would do.
I mean, I know I'm a dude, and it's easy for me to say that, but it's like, it's night. Nobody's going to see you. Just find a little dark corner, pop a squat.
You'd be surprised how many women are fine with that. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah.
also kind of illegal to pee in the street too.
It is, but that's only if they catch you. Exactly. I mean, there's nobody around.
Honestly, if nobody around, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the advantages of being out in the countryside. But anywho.
Yeah, those are city laws too.
But yeah, I mean, Matt the Exterminator, he is like the coolest guy, and he actually survives the first initial assault from Art. Like he's just kind of bashed in the head at first, and he just kind of goes down and is knocked out. Like it's kind of surprising that Art just kind of left him there.
hit him with a hammer, right?
Yeah, it was just a quick little blunt knock with a hammer. Yeah. But I mean, also he actually comes to Tara's defense.
Yeah.
You know, and puts up a little bit of a fight, but yeah, his head gets smashed in. You know, like there's even a scene earlier where when Tara first encounters Art, where she goes to the hallway. He's at the end of the hallway and he's getting his exterminator equipment set up, and he has AirPods on, and he can't hear her getting grabbed by Art.
Yeah,
and she gets sedated. So honestly, I mean, he's like the one cool guy in this movie. It's like Matt, you did your best, buddy. You did your best. It's like, I mean, you weren't nearly as creepy as they thought you were. It was Mike. Yeah, you're not nearly as creepy as the girls thought you were. It's like you were actually a cool dude. It's like, so hell yeah. Too bad he got his head stomped in.
He tried to do the right thing.
He tried to do the right thing, exactly.
He did.
That was also from...
He probably did the best out of anybody in the movie.
He did.
I mean, Tara was pretty good too. For a protagonist, I feel like she's a little bit more intelligent than some of what I've been used to. Like some of the characters in horror movies, slasher movies, are just fucking dumbasses. So it was refreshing to have someone, at least for the first 2 acts of the movie, who was competent. Just, you know, what are you going to do against Art the Clown?
Yeah,
right?
She frustrated me a little bit when she did the stupid trope of like stabbing him one time and then dropping her weapon and running away. Like, I hate whenever they do that. That
was exactly what I was going to say.
Everybody does that, though.
Everybody does. You're right. That doesn't make it any better, but
you know, you're
what
right.
did they do?
I already know, like, if I were in that situation, I would make sure they were fucking dead. And you know what? It would be a hate kill. It would be like, I'd be fucking angry.
Overkill.
I always thought if I was in the situation of these people in these movies, go for the kneecaps, man. Because even if they're immortal, if they can't walk,
you're right. Sure.
Just cut those kneecaps right out.
Oof. Right, Robert? What would you do in that situation, Robert?
I would have stabbed him a few times, not just once, and then ran, because I know he's going to get up and come after me. It's a psycho killer, right?
Yeah, but then again, he also has a goddamn gun on him.
He's got a gun. He could have used it at any time.
He seriously could have. Yeah.
But the thing is, you probably need to decapitate this guy, right, too?
Yeah, I mean, since we don't know that he's supernatural till the end of the movie, it's like, for all you know, just decapitating him would probably dispatch him for good.
I think works. It works with vampires, right? Just go ahead and fucking behead this motherfucker.
Right.
It's not just the heart, just cut the fucking head off, right?
No, you got to cut the head off and stab the heart, if I remember correctly.
Just assume anybody who's ever attacking you is a vampire.
Yeah, you may as well.
Well, and
there you go.
You go into your superheroes, and usually for characters with regenerative healing factors, you going for the head is the surefire way to stop them. So I'd say that, you know, if you're ever in a situation, just fucking decapitate him if you get the chance to. There's very, very few ways to come back from that.
Exactly. You know, it kind of makes you wonder why they didn't initially try that with Michael Myers.
They did. Halloween H2, but it was the wrong guy, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was the paramedic, right?
Yeah, it was the paramedic.
But that got us believing that it was actually Michael.
Oh, my God. No, I forgot about that.
That trailer that sold it.
Oh, no. Yeah, but hey, we got Busta Rhymes kicking ass out of that movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, you know, the first half of that movie feels like a completely different movie. I don't know. We'll talk about that movie eventually, I'm sure.
You're right.
Yeah. Decapitations, and what else does this movie have as far as gore is concerned?
Yeah, he scalped that one lady.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk.
I was
going to
say it has Art skinning that one lady. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hardcore. Honestly, you know, she de-breasted her and scalped her.
The brains were sticking out like Silence of the Lambs.
Exactly. And what's kind of sad about that is that scene after he takes her baby, because she's pretty much like gone completely daffy. Like she has a little baby doll that she carries around and is pretty much treats as an actual living baby and everything. And Art ends up taking the baby away and goes into the basement and is basically cradling it. And she tries to like give him some motherly love. But, well...
That's not what Art needs.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work. I mean, this dude is just pure evil and clearly hates humanity.
Clearly. But she's just like, is there kindness in you? It's like, I don't know. It's like, do you think that the decrepit-looking clown with rotten teeth and blood all over him has kindness in him? I mean,
well, like you said, she's not right in the head.
No, she's off.
Ooh, yeah, she's not up there.
Yeah, she's off in the head a little bit, But I mean, I do like. It's like I do like what she adds to the movie because I mean, at first she meets up with Tara and Tara has to kind of obfuscate a little bit in order to kind of get out of there, But yeah, it's like, I mean, I like her. It's too bad that she was mutilated the way she did, but it did give us that awesome imagery of Art with her scalp on and then with her chest and everything. It's just like, oh wow. Yeah. I mean, it's like, we've seen similar stuff to that in other movies, but. Or at least in anime, I think.
Or actual serial killers.
At least I'm pretty sure I've seen something like that in anime. At the very least.
You watch very different anime than I do, friend.
Oh, I'm talking about like the old school stuff from the like 80s and 90s. There was crazy shit like that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all those OVAs. It was like, oh, they're like Genocyber, Devilman, Violence Jack, the stuff that went hard,
What if that guy did this to your car?
What guy? The clown? You really think someone slashed my tires?
Well, he knows this is your car. He saw us getting into it earlier.
Hey, handsome!
Cut it out.
My friend wants your number.
Kill you.
What is it, Tara?
Dawn and I are sort of stranded. She has a flat tire and no spare, and I was kind of hoping you could pick us up. What the hell is wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
But yeah, like we said earlier, Tara is kind of presented as a final girl, but she gets killed with like 45 minutes of the movie left and whatnot. And then her sister, which is Victoria,
Vicky,
played by Samantha Scafidi, like she shows a little bit of resilience, but also a little bit of maybe not the brightest character. Like I think that maybe she's kind of less so bright than Tara was, but
Yeah.
you know, then again, Tara did get dispatched. So, but she is still still a pretty interesting final girl, but I mean, still much like a lot of the other characters in this movie, which is like something that I'm pretty sure Damien Leone himself says that he regrets about this movie, is that the characters are a little underbaked, and that's definitely so with Victoria. Like,
oh yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, she just kind of swoops in halfway through the movie after Tara's been killed, and then she has to come across all of Art's deeds and everything, and then she pretty much becomes the final girl from then on.
But then there's the reveal at the end where she's the girl at the beginning that attacked the reporter.
Yeah.
Or the TV show host, I should say.
Yeah, she's actually the survivor of this entire ordeal, and near the end, what happens to her is basically a bath salt zombie scenario where Art is literally just eating her face. Like, and this is after, for one, he tried to strangle her with or suffocate her with plastic, and I love that she actually broke the plastic off.
That was some thick shit. Yeah.
It's like finally somebody did the obvious thing in that scenario.
Poke the hole.
Yeah, right.
But him wearing the skin, he basically took a page out of Leatherface's book, right?
Yeah, it kind of had a little bit of a Leatherface quality to it, you know?
It's pretty much like he's taking a page out of everybody's book, right?
Oh, yeah, you know?
Yes.
I mean, and you could also kind of say that that's a little bit like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, you know?
Yeah.
He wanted to make a skin suit and everything.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
But I mean, this movie borrows a lot of elements from other horror and slasher films. I mean, I think that's kind of the point, is that it's an homage to a lot of those things. I mean, hell, even killing off the protagonist halfway through is just psycho, right?
It is, and with a gun, no less.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just happy they're not doing this. They didn't do the same remakes with this guy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they could have really made Art generic here. You know, but I think it's a combination of, for one, David Howard Thornton's performance, and also just how balls to the wall Leone goes with the gore in this movie. You know, and what he actually has Art do here.
And he gets on the tricycle too, right? Like Saw.
Oh yeah, you even get a little bit of a Saw tricycle here, like the little mini trike.
He's going in a circle with it. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
It's like, oh my god. It's like, I mean, you kind of knew that since him being, you know, kind of tangentially related to clowning, he was going to do that.
Yeah, it's like you can't hate him, dude. It was freaking comical too.
It was, and that's another great thing about this movie and about Art, is that it's hilarious. Honestly, Art can be genuinely funny in his own right. If you just watch his miming and watch his mannerisms, he's actually kind of funny.
No, he is.
What's funny is, just in the time since this movie has come out, I've already seen other movies where they're clearly already ripping off Art. Like, there was a movie that came out on Shudder, I think, this year called Jester. And it's about a guy who's wearing a clown mask, but it's still like he's wearing a clown disguise. He doesn't talk. He very emphatically does all his actions and everything. And he does like clown-like mannerisms, like he has a stupid card trick that he makes his one victim do. So like already just in the time since the Terrifier movies have come out, other movies are already ripping off Art because of how iconic he's becoming.
Oh man.
Exactly. You can even argue that like you know, the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies, you can argue that kind of the tone of that movie is kind of borrows a lot from Terrifier, you know? Like,
okay.
Like, or even that recent Mickey Mouse slasher kind of has a similar vibe to it, you know? Except maybe not as, like, graphic, you know? So, yeah, I can totally see what you mean there. Yeah, I mean, this movie did come out in 2016, and, you know, I mean, Art has been kind of, you know, growing for the better part of 3 short films before that. So, yeah, I mean, it does make sense that this would have an influence on the next generation of horror filmmakers, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hell, Terrifier 2 itself just came out, like, what, last year or a couple of years ago in itself?
Shit.
So I mean, yeah, I mean,
Terrifier 2 is 2022, Yeah.
2022. Yeah. So
2 years ago.
And I think this film
Yeah.
didn't actually get an actual release until 2018. I think the 2016 date it was just its premiere at a film festival.
Yeah. It took it a little while to actually get a distribution deal, and I think that was also after another Indiegogo campaign to kind of raise funds for that, for like actual physical release. So this is a quintessential indie movie too. Like, I mean, I think the budget for this movie was somewhere between $35,000 to $55,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it was not made for much at all, really.
And it looks good for it.
Yeah, it does. And it did actually make a little bit of a profit in its box office. It made about $416,000. So I mean, yeah, it was a very profitable movie, and I can see how now, I mean, especially as iconic as Art is, that he would have an influence on newer horror movies coming out. So yeah. But I mean, there's also some other interesting things that happened during this movie. Like, for instance, that ambulance that went by Dawn in the car very briefly, that apparently was real. That was fortuitous. That was an actual ambulance going to a call. So somebody's 911 call got caught on fucking Terrifier and is in the movie.
Oh,
so it's
that's interesting. I was unaware of that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I wonder whose 911 call was featured there, And also, I mean, they did actually shoot on location. Apparently, that was an abandoned hospital that they were shooting at. That's where they were at, and those were actually the underground tunnels there that they were filming at.
Oh,
yeah, and that was that's apparently where they would take bodies to go be cremated, out of sight of the patients and everything. So yeah, I mean the place that they were filming at, that was already a grody ass. Had a little grody history to it.
So like a crematorium or something?
Yeah, it was a hospital and crematorium.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, that in and of itself is creepy. And yeah, honestly, that location does kind of have a little bit of a vibe to it, where it's kind of its own character in this movie, right?
All the asbestos in the world, right?
All that asbestos. Just, it's all up in those walls and ceilings.
Damn it.
Damn it.
If you or one of your loved ones have ever been diagnosed
with mesothelioma. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's actually a really effective use of its location and everything. It's decrepit. It's there's equipment all over the place, and it's condemned and everything. So
spooky.
It's spooky. It's exactly the type of place where you would expect a torture clown to be prowling.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It definitely looked like it. Yeah, and like you said, with what the budget was for this movie, they had to take advantage of everything they could get for free. So you get a free, scary environment to film in. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's invaluable, It's totally invaluable. And then the way that they utilized the lighting and everything, I mean, it really just kind of gave this location its own little character, Like, I mean, you kind of, it kind of became the art's playground, sort of.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I mean, and he's literally using it as a playground, pretty much. He's just kind of gallivanting around there, having the time of his life, just killing all the people there, as he does.
And as all this is happening, the radio was playing about his killings too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, you hear a radio, a news bulletin about his killing at the pizzeria, and that is when the aforementioned real ambulance goes by.
There you
go. And Dawn, instead of locking the doors, which is the first thing I would have done, lock the fucking doors, it's like she just kind of sits there, and that's where Art gets her. Which is, I actually like that scene. That's really effective, where it's kind of classic, but also really effective because it's Art. He just sits right next to her, and then he just gives that smile, just shows those teeth, and then it takes a second for that to register with her, and then she's like, ah, Yeah, it's like that's actually kind of a cool little scene right there because it's art that sells it.
Classic.
Yeah, totally classic. But also a very dumb thing for Dawn to have done. But there's lots of dumb things that they did here. Like for one, leaving their car unattended anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had to go sober up at a pizza place.
Antagonizing the fucking creepy clown guy.
Yeah, that was not a good idea.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of bad.
And then she takes a selfie with them, and then
Yeah. Did you notice how that little analogy there? Like, she took the selfie of Art first, and then after she's hacked in half, he takes a selfie of her.
Reverse
her phone.
Oh, yeah, I love that part. Yeah,
that was fucking great.
it goes back to what you're saying about how Art is funny sometimes while he's being terrifying, while he's being cruel. Like this movie definitely jumps around with that.
Well, he kind of is a little bit of a trickster god here, right?
Yeah.
He plays a little bit of a trickster. I mean, it's like it kind of makes me wonder if this is in the same universe as Trick or Treat, where Sam is kind of an analogous Halloween spirit, but Art is just, a little more gratuitous about it,
Almost feels like Halloween. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Or the
yeah.
or the Trick or Treat. Sorry.
Which interestingly enough, the only jack-o'-lantern we see in this movie is not real. It was actually put in post. It was CGI of all things. That's the jack-o'-lantern at the pizza place.
It's hard to get pumpkins in the city.
I guess so. I don't know. I guess they didn't. Even though the story takes place on Halloween, I guess it didn't really occur to Damien or anything to get any Halloween decorations.
Yeah,
which is odd.
I was actually wondering that through the movie. Whether this was definitively Halloween or not, because the girls are barely in any kind of costume. And
I was
there's no Halloween decorations or anything. So I was perplexed as to whether this was actually supposed to be Halloween or not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you don't even see any trick-or-treaters out. You would have thought they could have hired a couple of kids to be extras as trick-or-treating kids in a Halloween movie. I mean,
get your own kids.
Well, I think it's meant to be very late after all the trick-or-treaters are gone. The party is over.
Oh yeah, you are right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. They're like leaving a party. I guess
after the Halloween party.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but we don't even get any indication of where this party might be at. They're just kind of we just kind of first see Dawn and Tara just kind of walking down the street. You know? Like we just kind of pan to them and they're just kind of there.
They were just leaving a party, like trying to sober up.
Yeah. And once again, I mean, that's a testament to how kind of underbaked the script is, which is like that's kind of a consistent criticism of this movie is that, and once again, Damien Leone himself has he himself has said as much. He was just like, man, I wish that I could have developed these characters a little bit, and I have a feeling that that's why the second movie is almost 2.5 hours long, because this time around it's pretty much just a lore dump.
Okay.
You know? So.
Which, I mean, I'm glad to hear that there's going to be any sort of lore dump. I mean, I've heard that it doesn't really answer all of the questions, but, at least, the second movie does like attempt to start to delve into the lore and the background, and you find a little bit out about this character, because that's what I'm looking for, right? Like now I've seen him in action. Like I want to know like more about Art the Clown, and we know that he's supernatural right now. So I'm actually kind of stoked to see, where the sequels take this character.
Hell yeah.
From what I understand, the second movie gets kind of epic, especially with the lead, the girl that they chose for their final girl, Lauren Lavera, who by the way is really, really cool on social media. Follow her. She's totally awesome. And in that movie, at least, it looks like the cast had a lot of fun with it. So I don't know. I mean, like we said, that's going to be our director's cut Halloween special. So we'll be getting to that movie here very soon, actually. So yeah.
Hell yeah. And then Terrifier 3 and Christmas.
And Terrifier 3. Oh, yeah. Terrifier 3, the Santa Stalker. We're getting another one of those. What do you think, Robert?
It's going to be like Jingle All the Way or something.
Jingle All the Way. Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Be funny.
It's about Turbo Man. Art dresses up as Turbo Man.
Sinbad,
Right.
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger, all that. Yeah, right.
But no, maybe like Harold and Kumar's Christmas, right? Where you just get stoned all the time, right?
Oh, no. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and start getting into our final thoughts about Terrifier. We started our initial thoughts with Stu, so let's go ahead and start with him again. What are your final thoughts on this?
So this is pretty good. This is a really worthwhile addition into the whole slasher genre thing. I like that they've created a new iconic slasher villain because it feels like it's been a while since we've gotten one of those. I mean, geez, you've got like the Saw killer in Saw, and you've got kind of Victor Crowley from the Hatchet movies, but I mean, he never really caught on that much. So he really needed somebody like Art to be the new modern slasher guy. And yeah, you know, I enjoyed this. It's a little gross and off-putting in parts. Like I could have done without the scene where the guy has to go in and clean up the shit off the walls.
Yeah.
But aside from that, everything here's pretty entertaining and, you know, worthy of the tradition, the long and storied slasher tradition.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Robert, final thoughts, brother.
Final thoughts. Yeah, it's a great movie, man. I just can't believe the budget and the gross on this thing. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
Didn't take a lot, really, but yeah, it looks like they used most of the budget on the practical effects, right? Like
It kind of does, right?
like trying to outdo Tom Savini or something.
I know. I think Tom Savini is actually going to be in the third movie.
Oh, really? Okay. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, I think he's going to at least do a cameo or something. I've heard
fuck
something
yeah.
to that degree.
I heard that too.
Maybe some practical effects and some acting, right?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like you did in From Dusk Till Dawn, right?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, I actually want to watch this again, and I need to find the second one so I can watch that one too. But
I think the second one is on Prime.
is it on Prime?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. But no, man, this is very entertaining, and when I first put it on, I didn't know what I was gonna get. So yeah, it kind of kept me off on the edge of my seat.
Oh yeah.
And I think like you guys said, I think it's about time we had a new face of the horror genre too.
It's like I told you, right, Robert? This is the future of horror.
The future.
Yeah, and this was in 2016. You know, 2018. It's like art is the future of horror.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ash, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I got to agree. This is the next generation of horror, and this very much evokes, the 80s. So it like Stu was saying earlier. So I mean, this really has everything. I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot of plot, but there doesn't need to be. Again, it works very well as a proof of concept, and knowing that the next movie is going to be 2.5 hours long, and so they're going to have time to do more plot. I feel like those concerns are addressed, and even with the director himself admitting that. So I think it works exactly for what it is. And I also can appreciate the fact that Damien Leone has a background as an effects guy. I mean, I think that's very present in the movie. It looks good for an independent film. And the kills are over the top. It's everything that you'd want out of a modern slasher movie. It's really excellent. Like if this is the future of horror, then we're actually in good hands.
Definitely.
Creative. Very creative.
Yeah, you're right. It's a very creative movie. And that kind of goes into my final thoughts is like, it's great to see somebody utilize what they have to make something new and unique and something that really stands out. And that's what Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton have done here. And I do like that they really kind of let this character cook for a little while. They just kind of started him off in small roles, and then in a short film, and then as part of a larger anthology, and then finally kind of working him into his own trilogy of movies. So it's really, really fascinating to see that kind of rise out of the horror genre and whatnot. And this is probably one of the better genre movies to have come out. I mean, it's not perfect. You know, it's like some people might I think Stu said, is like the grossness and the goriness is a little bit off-putting. For others, it might be the acting. For some, it might even be like the way that the lighting is, you know, which is admittedly a little overexposed, you know. But the creativity of the kills, the quality of the gore effects, and David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown himself just make this into something that's very entertaining. You know, it's not scary, and while this does kind of count as our disturbing movie for the season, it's not really disturbing or anything like that. It's still something that, yeah, if you're into horror, check it out. I mean, don't expect the world out of this, but also this is still the creation of a new icon of horror, which is, like y'all said, what we needed. So, yeah, this is something that you should see. But, I mean, if you're not into really gross out, violent, gory horror films, you might want to pass, you know. But, yeah.
It's definitely a film with a particular horror audience in mind, you know. And if you've listened to this, you're going to know whether or not this is your type of movie.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, this will definitely appeal to, like I said, the aforementioned disturbing movie enthusiast, you know, which I myself am, of course. I have a huge collection of disturbing horror and just disturbing cinema in general. Yep. And I'd say that this kind of fits in with all those movies, although it's more funny than anything, you know. But yeah, Art the Clown, hell yeah. I can't wait to see what he does in Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3.
Hey, Bo.
Yeah.
Ass to mouth.
Yeah, ass to mouth, of course. Yeah, maybe we can have something like that. Like what if he just goes full Tom Six in the next movie, Damien Leone?
Freaking human centipede. Damn it.
Oh God. Well, anyway, yes, that is our season premiere and our review of Terrifier. Stu, thank you for once again joining us for, I think, like the third or fourth time since this podcast has been a thing. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I definitely appreciate it.
Right on. And did you have anything that you wanted to plug here, just for your podcast or for the blog or whatever?
Sure. So the website is SWOproductions.com. We have new articles every single weekday. We have some fiction stuff, movie reviews, TV reviews, all kinds of entertaining stuff on the website. And the podcast is the Stu World Order, where we review random comic book movies.
Oh, yeah. And we have been on at least one episode of the Stu World Order podcast.
At least one, if not two, yeah.
I think at least the Blade one I remember doing. I remember doing Blade.
Okay, right,
yeah.
right.
So yeah, definitely a good show. And so yeah, and also you're on all the socials as well, right?
Yeah, the socials are all anywhere I'm on a social media website. It is at SWO Productions.
Awesome. And Ash, what's going on with Collateral Gaming?
I'm glad you asked, Bo. So we will be starting season 7 of Collateral Gaming here. I think as of the time of recording this, we should very soon have out our season premiere on Doom 1993, and then part 2 of that episode, we're going to be getting into the 2016 Doom and kind of comparing and contrasting those two. And then we'll finally be able to get into our Spooky Month content, having been caught up. So this year, we are going to be doing the Silent Hill 2 remake. So in part 1 of the review, we're going to be doing a spoiler-free game launch edition. And then in part 2, we're going to be doing the full spoiler review. And then we should have our Halloween special out on either the Callisto Protocol or Amnesia. That is still to be determined, but we should be determining that very soon here. And of course, we'll have something planned for the Halloween edition of the bonus round. So that's everything that's coming out in October. Oh, and also very, very soon, likely before we get out our premiere, we'll probably have out that episode on Ace Attorney Investigations collection. And then, of course, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom just came out. So we'll be covering that very soon as well.
Excellent.
So a lot of content this month.
Yeah, a lot of content, right? And Robert, I mean, we still have Texas Sundown on our YouTube channel. People should still go check that out, right?
Yeah, go ahead and plug that in because we released it this year too, right?
Yeah. The beginning of this year, somewhere around that time.
I'm still working on a concept script for Texas Sundown too.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to working on that.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we just got a lot of new audio equipment to use with the camera that you got. So,
we're gonna test all the new stuff on the next film.
Yeah. It's gonna be a learning experience, but you know, we're ready for it. I think.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. And Ash, we can find Collateral Gaming the same on the same social medias that you can find Collateral Cinema, right?
Yep. And we both do have Patreons, of course, where you can get access to exclusive content. You can also support Collateral Media on Buy Me a Coffee, or go check out our merch store on TeePublic and get you some Collateral Media swag.
Yeah, we should be making some new designs for the t-shirts there. I know that one of them, I just want to have just a big old blown up picture of Robert in there with just the text saying, I can't.
I
won't.
Well,
talk to my agent.
My agent.
You got to talk to my agent or my agent's gardener.
Gardener's therapist.
God damn it, Robert.
And I've got an idea of one of us, like we get like a picture of us doing the objection pose.
Yeah, that would be awesome, dude. We should do that.
I wanted to do some Steve-O thumbs.
Oh, that would be great. What tattoo it on your back?
On my back or my ass or something.
Oh my God, dude. Fucking stupid.
That's funny.
But yeah, check us out on all the socials and wherever you get your podcasts, but namely on Good Pods, where you can follow us there and you can listen to our podcast, and you can also give us a rating, a 5-star rating, which will help us climb the podcasting charts there. So yes, definitely do that. And like Ash said, we do have the Patreon and the Buy Me a Coffee, and also we do have a affiliate link if you're for Podbean. If you're looking to start a podcast and want 1 month of free podcast hosting, we have an affiliate link, and you can find it on our socials, and you can sign up there for 1 free month of that. So yeah, look for that. And I guess that's pretty much it for our season premiere. So yeah, season 8 of Collateral Cinema is a go. Once again, Stu, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, and anything else, y'all?
Nope.
All right. I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
I'm Smashley Pantsler.
I'm Robert Stewart.
And this is season 8 of Collateral Cinema. Ooh, yeah. We'll be back with Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming very soon. Laters. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.